best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
The government shutdown is finally over, but it looks like the bull market might be too. Bitcoin is puking right now on the charts. Things are looking very, very bad. And we got some signals last night that paint some reasons for caution as we head into the end of the year here. Things are getting wild out there on the blockchain. So do be safe if you are out there trading. Stop losses are your friend, especially on a chaotic day such as today. But you know what? I'm feeling pretty good about the market and where we can rebound to. And this general washout, it's basically a staircase we built up. Now, the big question is that staircase coming to a flat end where we're just going to fall off the edge? Good morning, everybody. Solana died, apparently. Peter, that's crazy. We'll look at that. Sack Nasty, you son of a... Andy, good to see you. T. Jones, perpetuals. Yes, you know I'm in on those perpetuals, you know. I think it's funny how people say that perpetuals are ruining the bull market with their $10 100x longs. Sebas, good morning. Iron Hooligans, Sean Tay, everybody out there in the world now. Yes, things are a little bit scary, but first, before we get into everything, make sure that you guys are following me. Okay, make sure that you're following me here on X. We got Kelly set up the dog cam right there too. I'm not gonna reveal what he's talking. We got a surprise for the dog cam coming in, but make sure you're following me on X. Also, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, hitting the like button, and supporting each other in these times of an immense turmoil. Emotions are running high. Kelly, how are you holding up as we have just tapped into $98,000 Bitcoin? Are you all right, buddy?
You know what? I'm feeling like the market is doing this right now. We've got the feeling, hold above $100,000. Well, we kind of lost it. But hey, there's some hope on the 1 minute chart. We do have a bull div. I think there's going to be a little bit more needed than that. But beyond that, we're also seeing a $463 million, almost $500 million in liquidations on this recent little tranche to the downside. And everybody's sitting here going, I thought it was going to be a bull market. What's going on? And then what happens? Let's go back to my screen, please.
Yes.
What's that?
Let's pull it up here. Hold on. Give me a moment.
This is what everybody's feeling like right now in the market. We wanted the bull market. Government opens, nothing happens. So everybody's getting max frustrated right now. And just like we get the alpha in our Discord, this is the sentiment of the land today. But I have to tell you something. We got that 15 on the fear and greed. So I guess we got a compadre in the charts today.
We do.
It's going to be popping in here in just a few minutes.
We do.
But I'm actually feeling good. I'm more bullish than I've been all year right now. And some people think that I've lost my mind.
Well, okay, I'm not saying we haven't lost our minds here. Let's not get too crazy, but there are some things to take into account. Now, we want to hop into this. A lot of the liquidations that I've been seeing happen are stemming from Binance Wintermute movements here. And obviously we have the alert channel, but I've been looking at the Wintermute alerts, Arc of Intelligence all day, and I haven't seen anything definitive coming over. And now CoinGlass is even having API data problems, but on the 12-hour, looks like actions to the upside at this point. There is not much food left for Bitcoin to eat to the downside unless a massive amount of longs come hammering into the markets. A lot of pain for really the market at large. Let's see what the actual market cap has dropped down to, $3.3 trillion.
Hey, you know what, Drew? You know who deserves this more than anybody right now? The market makers in Wintermute. Let's get rid of this nonsense. But you know what? We can't. All we can do is plan accordingly and look longer term.
This is like the market structure bill coming out. This may be Wintermute and Binance misbehaving before market structure comes out. But it was a question I posed to Michael Saylor. I never got an answer to, obviously. It's like, how do you plan to change the world if 70% of the liquidity stems from one location? Now, there are some slight winners here. Quant. Wow. Out of left field, Quant is up by 8%. This is how I know the bull market's over. No, I'm just kidding. Zcash up 5%. Uniswap up to about 775, 1.5%. It's making people depressed out there. Asuka getting depressed out there. Unbelievable. You know what? I've decided last night, Kelly. I am going to run for president of the United States of America. It's time. I'm going to start my campaign. It's going to be huge.
Well, I think that's phenomenal, but I think we need to do a little bit more for Asuka. I want to just specifically say to you, Gomenasai.
Oh my gosh. You know how? Oh, okay. All right. You're a man of many layers there. You're like an onion. Really like how this market looks. I'm going to bring a buddy in a few minutes that's pretty good at TA. I really, really feel like this is just a bump and run situation. Like, and I put a long in before I went to get pizza. That got stopped out while we were eating pizza, unfortunately. So now we're sitting here banging our heads on, we dropped all the way down to about 98,200, I believe, very, very recently. I really feel like this is a bump and run situation. I really, really do. And I'll delete all these other kind of zoomed in moments here. This feels like a bump and run scenario. Now, Crank was bringing up last week, and a lot of people are looking at this $92,000 CME gap for good reason. But when I'm looking at this thing on the weekly, we've ran up, bumped, ran, bump, ran, bump. Now the question is, do we run again? And, the big, validity behind the market kind of coming to that close is when I look at the 300 SMA on the daily and look at the past market. We bumped this mark 3 times until finally rolling over into 2022 to kind of finalize the bull market of 2021. We have tapped this 300 SMA 3 times now. So the question is this time different, or is it basically just going to rinse and repeat itself? It's got people on the edge of their seats. And we thought, maybe there's a chance the government reopening might cause some bullishness coming to the market. Me and Kelly, we dragged ourselves out of bed. And we covered the government reopening, and there was no good price action that came out of it, like literally zero. So that was something we had to take into account. It was not looking great. And then, we have these things like Quentin is talking about U.S. government shutdown, pump follows, and he's basically highlighting it takes about 5 days for that pump to follow. Quentin's a pretty good account. People thinking this.
I do want to add to that though, because that was 2 instances. There's another view on that, because you can look back to 2013 as well. And long story short, whether it's 2 days, 5 days, or 5 weeks, this has resulted in a pretty massive appreciation in prices in the short to midterm. So everybody, would you say a lot of people are expecting government shutdown ends and market immediate pump?
A lot of people were expecting that. Yeah.
This is kind of Max Payne not getting it immediately, but we have a $1 trillion Treasury General account. 24% of the US GDP is derived from federal spending for everything that was just shut down. So we've had a 24% hole in our GDP for a month. You better believe we're about to see some liquidity rush into these markets at some point. I don't know freaking when.
You would think the money's got to come from somewhere. And then we also have other bearish stuff going on. Dusty, Dusty, we got to get him on the show sometime. The chances of no rate cut at the next FOMC meeting just jumped from 26% to 41%. So the odds of no rate cut are increasing for the month of December. Now,
but dude. I was going to pull up this chart as well, because it's interesting when you compare it to this data. U.S. private employers cut an average, blah, 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 doesn't matter. This brings a 4-week total minus 45,000, the second largest drop since COVID. So it's curious to see that there's a rising potentiality of a pause, and the rate cuts for 50% or 50 basis points is only 2%. So I wonder if we're going to get some swings in this data, or if we're going to get a little bit of a hard stance.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Now that you mention it, let's go look at the fresh data, because CME, Fed Tool, Poly Market, they're both pretty good in terms of getting a 5 for where we're at. We're at 26 days and 23 hours from the next Fed meeting. It's turning into kind of a locked, and we're actually more likely to not have a Federal Reserve rate cut in the month of December, which this target is actually moving. They're not expecting a rate cut as things sit right now. Be an interesting bet to make, because those are pretty good odds on the 50 base point cut. What is that? It's like 2% here. Let's pull up yours again. Here, wrong one. So is it at 2% right there, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good deal.
I'll refresh just in case maybe something. Nope, nothing changed.
Yeah.
So it's literally about nearly 50-50, 25 basis points or nothing at all. Because remember, some of the comments Carolyn Levitt and President Trump mentioned was because of this government shutdown, which I think is just a crock of nonsense. The economic data can potentially be skewed now because there's jobs reports numbers and other things that aren't coming out. While on the other hand, you have websites and companies out there pulling data like Trueflation, like Polymarket, like all these other different data sources that seem to actually hit the nail a bit better on the head than all the skewed data that the government chooses to accept or omits because it distorts their findings. That's just nonsense.
It's just, and then to top it off, we have this massive dump going on right now, but while it's happening, freaking Taiwan starts its own Bitcoin national reserve. We got the Czech Republic central bank actually officially buying Bitcoin. The National Bank CMB has created a $1 million test portfolio that includes BTC and US stablecoin. So it's a tale of two cities right now. We have government's actively getting ready to buying Bitcoin, and the market is wanting to roll over in that traditional 4-year cycle framework here. So this is interesting. What's Mr. Punk saying here, Kelly?
Government shutdown, dump. End of government shutdown, dump. Rate cuts, dump. No rate cuts, dump. BlackRock buying, dump it. BlackRock selling, dump it. Market feels more than ever like it is doing everything in its possible foray to shake people out. And this is all in the face of a bull market that's endured through quantitative tightening, a constricting business cycle, and the fact that we just had a government shutdown. I think we need to be a little bit more patient. I still think 2026 is going to be.
But I think me and you had a good conversation about the ISM data, because some of me is like, how real is the business cycle data? But you're bringing up, it is ISM, and it does directly connect to business liquidity. So I want to get our buddy up here, Blockchain Crusader. Now, Blockchain Crusader, how are you doing? You got the jets behind your head. Things are a little bit crazy. You got your vest on. You're ready for war on the blockchain, but give a quick introduction, and excited to get into your charts and what you're seeing on the markets, brother. How you doing?
Good, bro. How you guys doing, man? You guys know the market is hot right now, so you got to wear some protection. If not, you're going to be open like Swiss cheese. So, man, I mean, overall, you guys seen me before, Blockchain Crusader. I've just been analyzing the markets, man. And let me tell you, right now is looking like the most fearful moment we've seen in a long time in the market. And everybody was expecting higher price points, right, with the government opening. But, man, I'm long right now, dude. I'm long.
Whoa. You know what, Crusader, I love with the way your screen is set up. Or maybe this is just the essence of your body in the universe. Because you're long right now and because you're so bullish, you have a green aura that is just an orb around your head. So I do think you're spilling out that bullishness. So let's see what you got in the charts.
Yeah, man. So overall this morning, right? Overall this week, we have been making lower highs, just creating a downtrend, right? Overnight during the Asia trading session, we came up right over here around 103.5, which was a local gold pocket, got rejected. And this green candle you're seeing right here was the stock market open this morning. We quickly tried to wick and break out of this downtrend, got rejected. And that's when I knew we were going to start heading lower, right? And then the full confirmation comes in. Once we lost this previous month low of 102.1, it was going to be dump city. I didn't expect to come down to 98 today. I did expect it to come, later this week, but it is what it is, and we're here right now. So
and these are golden pocket fibs you're using as your different kind of main points, your levels that you're watching.
So these points are just averages and NPLCs, right? Naked points of controls, and either monthly or quarterly lows. So right here we have an untapped quarterly average at 97 that we've been waiting for quite some time. We lost the previous week low earlier today at 98. So now we're in bearish territory, right? Things are looking pretty bearish overall. But if we on the weekly or on the daily time frame, but if we zoom out to look at the larger landscape, we're structurally still very sound. If we let me just turn this off real quick, right here, boom, and
I like
then
I like having all these
Well,
new people on the show to bring the different viewpoints. This is really fun for me to kind
I
of
mean,
yeah.
yeah, I mean,
So
look, look
different
at that
minds are.
structure. It's just,
yeah, dude,
coming
exactly.
down
This
into a
is the
liquidity
yearly.
zone, falling
Yeah,
wedge. Beautiful.
go ahead. Yeah, dude, exactly, right? Like overall yearly range, we're right at the value area low of the yearly range that's developing right now for 2025. And yes, we could drop, right? If we do lose this area, the lower targets are looking for 94 and 92. We have a gold pocket here that comes from the
Wait,
$76,000
hold on.
bottom.
Breaking is, I'm going to look it up. I
Go
think
ahead.
Trump might be speaking right now. Let me go
Look
and
it
find
up,
that.
Kelly. Look it up while he's talking here. Yeah, absolutely. If you see that, let's bring it up on the stage. Man, orange one. And this is where TA goes out of the window, right? The moment
Yeah.
Trump opens his mouth, our
Those
lines
tweets
mean
start
very
flying.
little. Yeah.
And that's it, man.
Let's see. But keep going here while Kelly's looking in the background. Oh, do we have it, Kelly?
Yeah, it's Melania speaking right now. I'll let you know when Trump's speaking.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
cool,
let's keep
cool.
rolling with this.
Yeah, so right now we're pretty much at the lows. We've come down to the lows of June, right? These lows in June down here was during World War III fears, right? Iran getting bombed by Trump, all that stuff. So we just came to that low right now. We're sweeping that area. We still have an untapped quarterly average right below it. Even if we don't hit it, I would rather just hit it since we're already here. I do expect a big push up here. If we lose this area, like I said, next big targets to the downside is this gold pocket between 94 and 92, which comes from the bottom of 76 to the top of 126. And that's the last line of defense to keep the 90s, right? If we lose this gold pocket, we're coming back to 80 to 84,000, which puts us back in the April range of 2025. And dude, I mean, that is going to be some bear market territory. Anything below that, we're coming down to 73 to 57,000 by 2026. But I don't want to say that I don't really want to say that we're going into a bear market. I do believe that in quarter one of 2026, we're going to have a major move. I haven't fully figured out if we're going to go to the upside or downside just yet. We have to wait and see how November and December closes out. But I do think that structurally, we're just ranging sideways. Bitcoin is just going sideways here. Let me take this out of the way. We're just going sideways since June. Since June, May, we're just revisiting June, May price targets.
Yeah.
Nothing new here.
Now, let me ask you this, Crusader. So historically, we've had 70 to 80% drawdowns on Bitcoin from all-time highs in bull markets. Are you of the opinion that in this current environment, Bitcoin still stands the potential of dropping by 75% from $126,000? What do you say?
So to that point, right, that moment that I was talking about a Q1 of 2026 being a massive move, I am looking for a 50+% move from wherever we close out this year. So if I do believe we're going to have a 50% move in Q1 at some point, and that it means either we're making a new all-time high in Q1 or we're going to go down for like the 70s area, right? Because if we were to close out somewhere where we are right now, a 50% drop from here will be pretty drastic, right? We're talking about all the way down to $57,000 Bitcoin. So I don't think that 70+% moves are really going to be a thing anymore. I think institutions have changed the game, but there are going to be some drastic movements in quarterly ranges where we could see 50+ moves to the upside and to the negative side.
All right, we got Trump here.
We got our boy.
1 second here.
I think it's very good, especially for someone that speaks 5 languages at least. I think that's pretty amazing. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
I think this has to do with the Foster program, but
Well, thank you, Melania. And our country is truly blessed to have this magnificent and very caring First Lady. They love her. Every time I get up and make a speech, they say, "We want our First Lady." I said, "What the hell? I'm not good enough? I'm not good." But thank you very much. Great job. And it's great the work you do in so many ways. This afternoon, I'm delighted to sign a historic executive order building on the Fostering the Future initiative to make America's foster care system better, fairer, and more effective than ever before.
I love
It's been
this.
effective, but it's moving in a very strong direction. All of this has been made possible by Melania's incredible devotion to America's youth. Spends a lot of time on it and loves it, and along with our great Usha, you spend so much time, and what a combination. First Lady, Second Lady, what a combination. Thank you. They do a great job, the two of them. They're amazing women. I want to thank Vice President J.D. Vance and Usha. Thank you very much. Vice President, stand up, Vice President. And he did a big thing today. He's going to be on television tonight with the legendary Sean Hannity, so everybody has to watch. I'm sure CNN loves this advertisement, but he will be. I heard it was a great interview. And Secretary Scott Bessent. Scott, thank you very much. An extremely non-controversial secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. But he's right. But he's right. And Scott Turner, thank you very much. Doing a great job at HUD. And thanks as well to Senator John Husted and Representatives Jason Smith, Darren LaHood, Zach Nunn, and David Schweikert. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, fellas. Great group. We're also joined by countless distinguished leaders in the child welfare advocacy ministry and charitable foundations, as well as so many wonderful young people who have experienced foster care and used their voices to champion needed reforms. And I want to thank everybody for being here. It's an amazing day at the White House. Thank you very much.
No dump from Bitcoin yet. Let's see.
And right behind me, by the way,
I got the 3-minute
in
chart
about
up
2
just so you
years
guys
from
know.
now, we'll use a much bigger room because we had to turn away a lot of people. And it'll be right here. This will be the entrance. That's a knockout paddle. It's called a knockout. It looks pretty nice right now, but it's going to look a lot better in a little while. And we're going to go from this room into a room that seats a few more people, and it's going to be beautiful. But I just noticed I happen to be standing here, Peter, and I thought I might as well get you a shot right now, a nice, beautiful shot at the future entrance to something that's really become very popular, the ballroom. They've wanted it for 150 years, and they're getting it, and they're getting the best. It'll be the best anywhere in the world. Each year, more than 15,000 young people age out of the foster care system, and unfortunately, too many struggle to become self-sufficient. The order I will sign in a few moments will provide vital new resources to help young people transition out of the foster care system and live a very happy and a very successful life. Very, very successful. With this order, I'm directing the heads of the key federal departments and agencies to establish a Fostering the Future program in coordination with our wonderful First Lady's office. They're coordinating, and they've already been coordinating for quite some time, and I think I hear it's going really well. You're going to have some, when she gets involved in things, it works, I can tell you that. Under this major new initiative, great American companies and institutions will be signing a pledge to invest in teaching, training, and mentoring America's youth who are transitioning out of the foster care system. This will help provide jobs, education, and personal development opportunities to fantastic young people who truly need and deserve them, and they're going to get them. A terrific example of the impact these programs can have is Eric Alvarez from Omaha, Nebraska, who is with us today. Where's Eric? Where is he? Stand up. Good-looking guy. Good-looking guy. Eric and his siblings were placed in foster care for a year when he was 9. He entered the child welfare system again when he was 15, and today he credits a mentoring and mentorship and work experience program for foster youth with helping him to finish high school and start his adult life. And he did really well in high school, by the way, really a great student, but he starts life on the right foot, right? Wouldn't you say? I mean, I think you better say yes, otherwise I'm in big trouble. Otherwise, I'm all by myself up here, Eric. That would be. I hear you're doing incredibly. Now, after graduating from the University of Nebraska and interning for Congressman Don Bacon, Eric is pursuing a master's degree at the George Washington University, and he is a cadet in the Air Force ROTC, who will be commissioned as an officer upon graduation. And Eric, I just want to say, great job. You've really been outstanding, and I think that's probably why you were chosen out of so many people. You've done a fantastic job. Congratulations. The new initiative we're establishing will also create an opportunity for foster youth to take full responsibility of the federal tax credit scholarship program established by the One Big Beautiful Bill. So many things, tax cuts and regulation cuts, so many things. The biggest ever passed in the history of our country. I call it the Great Big Beautiful Bill. I changed the name a little bit to make it even more sublime. But
Sublime.
it is, there's so many things in there for everybody. We had a choice. We could have done it in 9 different bills or try for the one, and everybody said, no, let's do it in 9. It'll be easier. Actually, it wouldn't have gotten done. And JD and I and Scott and all of us got together and we said, let's give it a shot. And we got it passed. And it was an amazing thing, but it's going to help a lot of people. There's never been anything like it. As in one bill, there's never been anything close. And when you see what's going on with the Democrats, we're lucky we got it passed because we don't have to do anything. All we have to do is implement it now, and we'll be implementing it all over the place. If you think about it, no tax on tips, right? No tax on Social Security, all of the different things, no tax on overtime. You get deductions if you buy a car. You take an interest rate deduction, an interest deduction against your income tax. It's never happened. Nothing like this has really ever been approved to this extent. And so it is one great, big, beautiful bill. But using the tax credit will expand occupational training, education, and financial literacy programs for the foster youth and make it possible for more of them to attend the school of their choice. Choice is a great word for a lot of reasons, but it's a great thing with education. And we'll also create the new Fostering the Future online platform to help young people find the access and really get great housing, very, very important and beautiful housing, health care, and other resources available to foster youth and those transitioning out of foster care. And we think that's going to happen with many, many people, many more than you have right now. Under the Trump administration, we believe that every American child deserves a safe and loving home, and we're determined to support the amazing families who help make that happen. And we have some of those families in the room today, and I just want to thank you all for being in the White House. There is no place like this, and we want to thank you very much for being here. We're great families. Thank you very much. Faith-based, thank you.
That'd be funny to hear Trump say hippopotamus.
Faith-based nonprofits are the nation's most trusted institutions, interacting with the foster care system and practicing Christians and more. Think of this, more than twice as likely foster care. They'll adopt the general population. They adopt to it so easily. When they get out, they adopt to it just like becomes second nature. It's amazing. Yet radical left policies in states nationwide make it much harder, not easier, for those families to open up their homes. But we're working on that. We're dealing with the radical left. It's not easy, but we're winning, and we're winning big. That's why with the order that we're doing today, we're taking the ridiculous woke policies that discriminate against Christians and families of faith. As president, I will always stand by us. We will stand by our country, and we will stand for religious liberty. So important. We stand for religious liberty. The Bible tells us, thank you. Thank you. The Bible tells us that one of the measures of any society is how it cares for vulnerable children and orphans. So important, and it's so big in the Bible. So as we make America great again, we are going to protect American children in foster care, and we're going to ensure that they will never, ever be forgotten. These children will never be forgotten, and they're going to grow up to be unbelievable, strong, smart, wealthy, productive citizens. So once more, I want to thank Melania for the great job she does, not here only just as First Lady. She's a great First Lady. And I want to thank you very much, honey, and the foster families and leaders here today. You're very special people, and we're going to work together, and we're going to have some absolutely incredible results. Thank you all for being here. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. There we go.
Trump.
You know, I did like that. Oh, is he still going? Is he still gonna? Is he gonna take questions? What do you think? Let's see. He's going to sign it right now. I wonder if he'll take questions.
That's great.
Foster kids need help in this country. This is a good thing to do.
Are you
A lot of
ready,
people forget about
everybody?
that.
This is it. Too late to change after. Should we sign it? I think, right? Susie, do we sign this? Good.
Such a tease.
I'm going to ask the First Lady to sign it also. Funny sign it right.
We need help. We're like,
He's taking questions, bro. Oh,
Okay, honey? Very nice.
why are you? Cali Fried Chicken. He always talks about everything that's going on in the government and everything. So when he speaks, we try to catch it. And we'll jump back to the charts here in just a second.
all right.
All right.
I don't think he's going to take any questions now. So, all right. So we're all right. Our bags didn't go to zero. I did enter that long position. We'll see if I die.
Let's go.
I mean, I'm not too scared of this damn market. I've seen us bump and run a couple times so far.
Good.
And we have a lot of stuff actually that's pretty good. We got to keep running through, because people have been wiggling and whining about price. They need to really examine what Bitcoin is. Shanaka's talking about Bitcoin, the money where truth is decided by physics. 21 million cap, 10-minute blocks. We have basically open competition turning energy into unforgettable time, or unforgeable time, rather. If deep history can be rewritten cheaply, it is not Bitcoin. Choose verification over permission and hold your keys. Like, this is a whole time, and I'm all in. I'm as all in as this guy and this badass winter suit. Absolutely ready to go, ready to have some party time. And I'm not worried about it. I also saw it's like ICO season. Coinbase is rolling out how to get into token pre-sales, all this craziness going on. But you kind of got caught up in the chaos there, Blockchain Crusader. I didn't see it coming. But you brought some good insight to the charts that you're looking at. I really, at these times, I am cautiously optimistic. Where can people keep up with you and all your trades, though? Because I know you're out there making content all the time. Like, let people know where to find you on the interwebs, brother.
Yeah, on the YouTubes, right? Blockchain Crusader, Instagram, Blockchain Crusader. Those are my two big platforms right now. That's where you can find me. Instagram and YouTube. Blockchain Crusader is pretty straightforward.
Love it. Well, I was glad to have you on, and your visual motif definitely matches. Like, we got it going on. So looking forward to having you back, and I appreciate you coming on, brother. Thank you.
Appreciate the invite, guys. It's been a great time.
Absolutely. And thankfully, Trump did not dump our bags, and he's just helping out foster kids, which is something I'm very, very happy to see. Now, Kelly, were you kind of surprised by that announcement? It kind of caught me off guard, and it was something Melania was probably looking at in the background. There's people in the chat. What does this have to do with crypto? The leader of the free market of the United States of America definitely has some sway when it comes to markets in general. We opened lower on the S&P 500 this morning. Coinbase getting ready to roll out their ICOs. Like, give me the signals and the stuff that you're looking at right now, Kelly, because I have a couple news articles or highlights on altcoins, different altcoins that I like. I've basically kind of consolidated down to a few altcoins. I'm not heavily overexposed going into this environment, but what are you seeing generally on your charts and timeline, brother?
Well, first thing, I just want to remind people where we came from. This last 2 years, this was the bottom. FTX collapsed down at $15,500. We had the run up, and oh my God, the market was over at $25,000. We had the ETF hype. We were about to get ETFs, and then it sold off on them going live. The next day, it sold off. We had a pretty big washout there that only slingshot higher. Then we broke to new all-time highs before the halving, and on the crash, it was all over. And Germany dumped, and we had the Japanese yen carry trade. Yet the price, all it did was come back and retest this level. And notice that 25, basically right about 50. And then the next run up here on the Trump election, the breakdown on the tariff news that crashed the markets as well. Look at that, 25, 50, 75. Now look at that. All it did was test the previous range high and then ran up, had some work to do, got all the way up to about 125, 126. It's pretty weird that it's $25,000 tranches here each time. And here we got the biggest washout in history, way bigger than what we saw in FTX bottom, way bigger washout. And then now we had the government shutdown that just ended and the 4-year cycle fears. I think people need to realize, I do think there's a lot of things, this stuff right here that everybody's trying to figure out: 4-year cycle fears, the tightening of liquidity, the contracting business cycle, quantitative tightening, government shutdown, and almost all of these things other than the 4-year cycle fears. All these other things are getting resolved here in the matter of already, or in the matter of a couple days into a couple weeks. So, and going back to what you said about focusing, I just wanted to highlight this. This is super boring, but this is where wealth is made. Okay. This doesn't matter, all this. Let's just read this. The top 3.6% of companies have created 100% of the lifetime wealth for investors. So 3.6 out of tens of thousands of stocks, only 3.6% of those are driving people's wealth. I think we're going to be seeing the same thing is going to emerge in the crypto ecosystem. In some ways, it already has. So the question is going to be, what are those coins for you? I know Bitcoin is obviously, the pinnacle there, the apex of all digital assets. Yeah. Ethereum, of course, being the backbone of the stablecoin ecosystem, as well as a lot of the different altcoins that are out there. Chainlink being the cross-chain interoperability, and maybe one or two other layer ones, I think are going to be the ones that really, and I'm not talking about this cycle. I'm talking, we're looking 12 years out. We're looking 18 years out. There's going to be massive gains that are made, and a lot of people, they just get chopped trying to get this one thing because it's a lower market cap that's going to make me rich, and then you just end up losing.
Yeah, you're bringing up something. It's like people kind of question why I can look at the chart dumping the way it is and feel comfortable still, is because of how long I've dedicated myself to investing into crypto, right? Like the chaos right now for me kind of is laughable. People coming in the chat, oh, Bitcoin just fell by $5,000. It's the end of the world. But yet the $5,000 is 5%, right? We're at 100,000, 98,000 right now. And it's about time frame.
Wait. Let's just bring it back to perspective too.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back to perspective. 15 years ago today, we were 16 cents. This day, 15 years ago, 16 cents. We have risen 65 million%, the Bitcoin price has. And we're sitting here in a 23% correction, which is not out of the norm. We saw in this cycle back here, 2017, 11 moves of 15% or greater, 8 of them being 25 to 40% on the way from down here all the way 200 to 20,000. Same thing in the previous cycle. And what we've seen in this cycle so far is several 20% moves, the shakeout 17, 18% sideways price action. We're getting a rollover of all these OG whales into these massive institutional players. And people are thinking, it's over here when we're waiting on some of the biggest catalysts for liquidity to come in the market. I'm not saying it's going up today, but I do think that everything that's happening right now is a bit more of a shakeout on time and price action than what's actually going to play out in 6 months, let's say.
Absolutely. And I see we got Rufus trying to shill some absolute. Be careful in the comments section if you see these like absolutely ridiculous tickers. Rufus,
You are banned.
we're clear, and that's a full deportation ban, so that's no returning, right? That's no returning. And I am going to start my electoral process. I'm going to start the process of rolling out the idea for my presidency. I am at the point where I think the United States needs something like Gaddafi, but from a Christian angle, right? Something a little bit similar to that makes sense to me. So that's a one-way ticket for you, Rufus, and never to be seen again. Now, I do want to cover some stuff. We have to cover some altcoin action here because I have long-term vision and I'm looking at the DeFi realm more particularly than anything. Solana's TVL and stablecoin supply, even with the rollover and the price going down from this momentary flash crash, is hitting all-time highs. And if this trend does hold, this usually is the type of setup that precedes a Solana DeFi burst. So that plays into why I added these Solana DeFi plays into my portfolio. They were Marinade, Camino Finance, Jito. I've added these as well. I hold Solana as well. Long-term holds, though, and things that I can feel comfortable and at least some sort of semblance that they're going to make their way into the next bull market, last longer than 1 year. That's where some massive gains can be made, right? That's where some massive gains can be made. People have a short-term attention span, and this is kind of scary. This might be the altcoin top signal right here. A MOG ETF. Canary Capital files an S1 for a MOG ETF, looking pretty terrifying. Also, Neon with his token presale did not go well. Dumped very, very hard. I don't know how people are still falling for these celebrity scam tokens. It's very sad, very pathetic. This is also a highlight for Tensor Tau. BitDeer confirmed a fire at its Malson, Ohio site. Company says the hash rate won't be hit, but shares extended their slide falling. And I think this is connected to them mining Tensor Tau. Kelly, can we look at Tensor Tau right now? Because I think that the price, it's falling in tandem with a lot of other big altcoins. But Tensor Tau is one of the ones I feel like is going to be a big winner within the AI space. Hash rate wasn't affected too much from this. And I'm kind of curious what the price action is looking like right now. If we might bring this up, what do you see here?
Well, on Tensor Tau, we've had this downtrend, right? We broke out, got super excited because this was a pretty nice rally. I mean, that's a 87%, 85% rally. And oh my God, it's gave it up. It's come all the way back down. But as it stands right now, I'm not saying this can't change, but as it stands right now, it looks like it's broken through this previous resistance and trying to flip it as support as it stands right now. And the price action you see is right in the meat of where all of this liquidity has bounced, all the way even back over here, rejected. And so the flip side of that, though, is the money flow is coming out on the 3-day. The RSI is super weak. If we get down into the 4-hour, we might get a little bit better resolution. Okay, near term, money flow coming out. RSI has rejected this midway point, this 50, basically 50 marker, roughly about this 50 zone. The strength tried to come in, got rejected where weakness is in control and money flow is coming out. So I'd be a little bit patient here for it to find some footing or even fall through and reject. But in the near term, it doesn't look super bullish.
Okay. Good to know. And on Tensor Tau, I've always kind of felt like I don't want to get into it unless it's $200, $250. I do feel like Tensor Tau is going to be a project within AI that's going to be able to last a little bit longer, or a lot of it longer than a lot of these altcoin projects. And Trump is making some shaking and jive happen as well with the BBC. It looks like the BBC has to apologize to Trump. And we have Gavin Newsom's former chief of staff being arrested by the FBI and charged with bank fraud, wire fraud, and conspiracy to defraud the United States, including funneling campaign money for personal use. So this is probably going to get a little bit interesting on the political bid for Gavin Newsom. And on the IRS side, they're now planning to treat crypto as property. It's not taxable right away. And it looks like if you exceed $19,000 per person in 2025, file form 709 might be something that we have to do, which, you know what, boating accidents happen. I get it. Crypto being taken more seriously by the government, okay, bullish, all right, but they just want to confiscate as much as they want, and we acknowledge this. I acknowledge this. I'm not trying to mince words, and mistakes happen. I go boating all the time. I understand, folks, and there's nothing like cold custody on your crypto. That's why we have a partner, Arculus, with a code DC20, so that you can put your crypto on a cold storage device. You get into the exchange, you buy a spot, you leave the exchange, you put it on a cold storage device, bada bing, bada boom, it's yours. Let's go. Now, the other things I needed to cover today is Michael Burry is shutting down his hedge fund, it looks like, Scion Asset Management. Michael Burry to close down his hedge fund by the end of year after acknowledging he doesn't understand today's markets. He's kind of tapping out here, which is kind of crazy. He's calling for the everything bubble to burst and now having to call it quits, right?
Well,
what do you make?
You know what it really marks? It really does. It's a great distinction for everybody that's in the crypto market right now and stock market. That we talk about this a lot, Drew, that you could make a very real argument on a technical basis for the stock market and for Bitcoin that an overwhelmingly large correction is due based on, a year and a half bearish divergence on Bitcoin from March of last year to today, up to when we had the recent high, that the bull market's over, major downside price action, same thing, S&P 500. And it's been ignoring these technical signals But on the flip side, we have this other aspect that you could really build the bullish case based on this fundamental shift in what's happening on the money side. I'm not saying that's a good thing that's happening, but the fact that money printers are about to go burr, not just in the U.S. and China, with what's going on with some of the bills that are getting signed that are further substantiating more money printing coming, and the fact that Bitcoin just entered the world stage in a real way, and institutions just clamoring to get in. And we see somebody like Michael Burry, who's been trading markets for longer than most people that are here actively trading crypto have been alive, and he's saying, you know what? I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm not gonna do this any longer. So yeah, confounding. This gets back to this right here. This is what everybody's feeling,
I mean, absolutely.
Like, what the heck? Is it going to happen? What the heck? Is it going to happen? What the heck? But you know what? I do want to say, shout out tonight. Make sure you tune in through the Discover Crypto X account or my X account. I'll be posting this. We got Fred Krueger, who's an absolutely brilliant mathematician. He's also working with the power law, a lot of stuff. Really great. He's going to be a guest. Dave Weisberger, been involved in markets, been involved, talking with some of the people at the DTCC and different people that are major players in Wall Street and also understands crypto deeply. Of course, Samuel Oil, myself, Chris Klein. I'm sure this is all powered by Bitcoin IRA. They sponsor these so we can do those. And we talk a lot about what's going on in the market. And Drew, I'm sure you'll probably pop in there as well.
Yeah, I'll pop in there as best as I can. It's really a thing where long-term vision is going to win out, really, when it comes down to it. And for me, like taking bets on altcoins before they were mainstream, before they were known by everyone, was where I found the biggest dividend, right? And sometimes you just have to take a breath, understand, has your thesis changed? If it has, then change up your portfolio. If it hasn't, and you still think things are going to go the way that you believe they are going to go, follow through with your conviction. The best you can do is do your own research. And I found this kind of interesting as well. Goldman Sachs is putting this out, that the U.S. stock market is going to lag behind the rest of the world over the next decade. So I wanted to go take a gander, right? I wanted to go take a gander. This is the S&P 500. And I wanted to compare it to the CSI 300, which is the China stock market, and really just got to get an understanding of how far behind is the United States stock market from China's. So since this data was started to be collected on the CSI 300, it's risen by 430%. That's a pretty big move. And that's from December of 2005. So let's go take a gander at the S&P 500. It does look much more vertical on the S&P 500, but mind you, both of these charts are set to the monthly.
Parabolic.
Might you say parabolic? Right. But now we take a look at what this actually means. We're looking from December of 2005 to now. So let's just do some cross-checking here. This is December right here. And Lord love a duck, they're about the same. So they've risen by about the same. Can we? Oh yeah, where's this? I'm gonna ban you forever. Also, you're deported. I can't wait for the channel to be out of jail, YouTube jail, because I got some real fun buttons coming for long-term deportations. It's gonna be huge, maybe the best. But on the US side, it looks much more vertical than the China CSI. The thing is that a lot of the Chinese market is wrapped up in failed real estate ventures. And yes, we have 120 trillion wrapped up in real estate. Both of these countries are fighting on the advancement of AI infrastructure. And we were kind of talking at lunch, Kelly, on the way to lunch, about how Main Street is likely going to be left behind, but the stock market is going to continue to put in these new highs, which is really kind of a scary idea.
Though, I don't have the chart right now, but what's interesting is when you look at the S&P 500 and you remove like the Mag 7, you remove these, NVIDIA and Amazon and Meta and Google, things haven't been as overwhelmingly bullish for everything in the stock market. It kind of goes back to that data point I showed earlier. 3.6% of all stocks out there are the ones that have built real wealth. So I think a lot of this is skewed by these, you see NVIDIA swinging 5% in a day, and that's a $4+ trillion market cap thing. I see there's a mustache rider in our comments here from Rumble. Yeah, you are a mustache rider, even though your name is Mustachiologist. Yeah, we talk crypto, but we also have to talk about what's going on in the stock market, because the stock market has a good impact of a signal, if you will,
Mhm.
about where the risk appetite is in the market, and how much capital is actually flowing and trading hands. And when you see the S&P 500 going parabolic and Bitcoin basically trading sideways in a range, you kind of want to unpack why Bitcoin is feels stale while the stock market's running away. And we do I think we do a good job of unpacking that. And I think that that divergence of S&P 500 being well above what we've seen for Bitcoin, I think is going to evaporate as soon as a narrative, because I do think a big move is coming for Bitcoin this year.
Yep.
Going into this next year.
Drew, the great deporter, probably the best ever. He will deport at levels no one has ever seen before. And this is the beginning of my presidential bid. Kelly, if I may, I want to take a moment just to discuss my first intentions here. My fellow Americans, it is a solemn hour of renewal. I vow to reclaim our sacred union. Let's get into this. So, under the banner of a Christian nation, a nation of virtue, we can cast aside the veils of godless discord and enthroning the gospel's light in every hall of governance. As the resolute visionary once remodeled this realm, as the unwavering purpose, with faith as our shield, we shall seize these reins of our nation's treasures, nationalize them for the welfare of all, forever banish the insidious financial power structures that have ensnared our land and the world beyond, ensuring that no shadowy cabal will ever rain its greed upon this nation again or dictate our destiny. In the embrace of divine brotherhood, I pledge to elevate our people through the learning rooted of Holy Writ, prohibiting the positions of tainted spirit, advancing through equality for every soul under heaven in the United States, and expelling alien forces that undermined our hallowed inheritance. Thus, guided by the almighty hand, we shall ride to the republic of unbreakable impiety. We are freedom-loving Americans. We rain justice upon the land, and we will eternally move forward in the promise of a redeemed tomorrow. This is my promise to you as president. There it is. That's the first rollout of it. I'm going to make it happen, baby. I feel it in my bones, man. It's happening. But yes, Bitcoin long-term. Altcoins might die. This is going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm feeling good. Oh, you made a donation to the presidential bid. Thank you very much. We shall ride into the sunset. Thank you very much.
He only gets paid in Tron.
Oh, God. I don't know where I'm going to spend that. All right. Well, you know what?
Ooh,
I'm
shout
in
out
this
to the
long.
gifts. Somebody, Byron Hardy, 20 memberships. Big love to you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on a daily basis. These markets are chopping a lot of people out. I think Valhalla is going to be there for those that are able to strap in and not over leverage themselves. And that doesn't mean using leverage. Over leveraging also can mean you're too highly allocated for you to live your life comfortably and not be stressed by the markets. One step at a time, everybody. So you let us know right now. It is November 13th on Christmas Day. Will price be above where we're at today, or are we going to be going down into the abyss? Let us know in the comments, live comments right now, and comment after the show down below. Do you think, are we higher or lower on Christmas Day than we are today? Let's see what you
guys we got a super chat from Crank. Here we go. What do you boys think about the TA playing out? Oh, Lord. Good job, Crank. You saw the 98. So I stopped out on the long I had this morning, and now I'm in a fresh long because we're at 98. Crypto Crank is putting out some bangers. I love and appreciate every single one of you out there. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to remain calm. Check your emotions at the door. We are speculative investors in one of the most disruptive technologies the world has ever seen, which is person-to-person payments in Bitcoin. And there's an ecosystem of altcoins under it that are trying to develop, but God, they got a long way to go until they really find their stride. We are very, very early on this information. We are very early on these investments, and I bid you all the best of luck. Use discernment, be based, and do not top blast charts. I love and appreciate every single one of you out there, and I will see you very soon.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.